across its 40 years of history, the Mario series has ended up with a stellar catalog of power-ups. From Mario 3's Super Leaf, 64's Wing Cap, NSMB DS's Blue Shell, to Wonder's Bubble Flower, there's no shortage of fan favorites. Normally, these power-ups, especially the ones on the box, kind of take on a life of their own, routinely showing up decades later in fan works, discussions, and even new official games due to their status as beloved centerpieces in Mario's most renowned titles. Though, there are a few times where things don't quite turn out this way, with the boxart power-up being left behind as time marches on. Among these is the subject of today's video, what I believe to be one of Mario's most deceptively creative, most expertly executed, and most fun power-ups, the often overlooked Super Acorn. The Super Acorn gives the user a flying squirrel suit, upgrading their moveset with 4 main abilities: a lofty double jump that transitions to a floaty descending state, boosted spin jumps that reach the height of a triple jump, a wall cling useful for stalling, and, most importantly, a flexible glide that slows your fall more the faster you're moving. These 4 additions might not sound like much on their own, but in concert with each other, Mario's base moveset, and various other tools, they allow for some of the slickest movement in a 2D Mario. You know how in the modern 2D games, Mario was able to ground pound? Check this out. You can cancel a ground pound by holding up, leaving you actionable again. On top of that, you can cancel the flying squirrel's double jump with a ground pound at any point. See where I'm going with this? If you put these 2 pieces of tech together, you can pull off some ridiculously fast, super clean platforming sequences, like this. Get creative enough, and you can turn almost any spot into a 1-up farm. Or you could clear a level without ever having to touch the ground. Add a baby Yoshi into the mix, and things get even crazier. What makes me such a fan of this power-up is how strong it is while still being pretty balanced, unlike other flight and glide power-ups. For example, the Cape Feather. Very fun to use, with a malleable moveset that allows for cool stunts, but it's a bit too easy to abuse overall. You can skip over a lot of stuff in levels with it, once you learn how to control it. Speaking of skipping over levels, don't get me started on the magic carrot. I love this thing, but man, Broken doesn't even begin to describe it. Because of how the flutter works, you'll never lose height if you can mash jump fast enough. With this, a good chunk of the level design becomes a suggestion you can very easily ignore. The propeller mushroom, while not as powerful as the cape or carrot, still makes many sections a total joke. It's a bit of a pace breaker too, because of how its double jump halts your momentum once the animation ends. The Super Acorn, on the other hand, is better designed for all skill levels. While still useful for correcting jumps and skipping sections, the double jump doesn't go as high as the propellers, and you sacrifice being able to glide until you land on something, so you really have to consider when's the best time to use it. The glide is super good, allowing for speedy platforming that would require slowing down otherwise, but it's not great for stalling by itself. This simple yet widely applicable design concept is the engine that powers the best of Mario's power-ups. Having intuitive abilities that fit Mario's kit like a glove is the reason why so many folks love the Cloud Flower in Super Bell. I'd say the Super Acorn gets the job done just as well as they do, if not better, for the reasons I've laid out here. But you never really hear anyone talk about it, and when they do, the reaction is often along the lines of, I remember it just being okay. Why is that? The NSMB series isn't looked back on very fondly these days, especially not the last 2. NSMB2 and NSMBU came out the same year, when most already had their fill after NSMB Wii 2 years prior. The Wii U's total failure led to the original version of NSMBU becoming the worst-selling Mario platformer ever released worldwide. And when NSMBU DX rolled around, the Super Crown, which copies a lot of its abilities, kind of stole the Super Acorn's second chance in the spotlight. Even Nintendo seemed to have forgotten about it at times. Mario Maker, which literally has an NSMBU game style, ditched the Super Acorn for a completely different game's box art power-up, the propeller mushroom from the 30+ million seller New Super Mario Bros. Wii. This wouldn't be rectified until basically half a decade later in a free content update for Mario Maker 2, released on April 22nd, 2020. All this, and how the power-up just isn't as overtly flashy as something like the cape, wing cap, or penguin suit, is why I think it's remained underappreciated. To sum things up, the Super Acorn is an extremely well-made and addictively fun item. It's the kind of power-up you want to have your entire playthrough and feel horrible about losing. Serves both as engaging training wheels for newbies and a sandbox of skill expression for veterans. It may be overlooked by most, but for those of us who know what it can really do, it stands out as one of Mario's coolest power-ups. Hey, 2D Mario team, do me a favor and slide it into the sequel to Wonder, alright? Sure hope we don't have to wait 11 years for that one. For those who made it this far into the video, what did you think? As I said in a community post a while back, I have a Meteor video in the works right now. It's coming along great so far, but nowhere near as fast as I initially thought it would. I made this to help tide things over while I continue plugging away on it. If you'd like to see more of these simpler videos in between the bigger analytical stuff, like first impressions of new Mario things or rankings of some kind, let me know in the comments. I've also been streaming every Thursday, Friday, and Sunday starting around 2:30 PM EST. Come hang out with me sometime, why don't you? Alrighty, that's about enough out of me. Until next time.